If you do not know why am I whispering or using my soft-spoken voice, then I highly encourage you to go look up what ASMR is. In tonight's storytime episode, I'm going to share with you, as promised, the astral projection experiences that I had with Luci. If you do not know who Luci is, then I'll put the link in the description box below with the previous video that I made. If you're new to this channel, welcome, and please subscribe and turn on the notifications. And without further ado, let's begin. My first astral projection experience with him. I remember finding myself in our classroom, or at least a very similar room that resembled our classroom. And I was sitting in the middle row in the first two seats, which was unusual because that's not where I would usually sit. Next to me was my usual desk mate, which was also my best friend at the time. And I looked around and all of my colleagues were there, but not really there. It felt to me like part of them was there, so part of their consciousness were there, but they weren't really aware that they were experiencing this. They were probably sleeping just like I was, because they were just like stone statues. They were just staring at the teacher's desk, but they weren't moving or anything. And I was kind of freaking out because no one was saying anything, and I kept initiating conversation with my desk mate, and she wasn't saying anything. And then suddenly Luci comes through the door and takes a seat in the teacher's seat. And as soon as I saw him, I was like, "Oh, hi, how are you?" You know, like I didn't process instantly that he was dead, and he showed up to me in the astral plane. I was unsure as to where I was, and he said that he's fine and that he misses us all. Then we carried on with our conversation for a couple more seconds, and then he said, "It's time to go." At that point, everyone just kind of stood up and tried to move towards the exit, which is really odd because no one actually had any kind of reaction before that. As we all exited the classroom, I noticed that we were all flying above our hometown, and that the classroom was part of a white school. It was so white, it was so bright, it almost hurt my eyes, my non-physical eyes anyway. And I could see on Luci's face that he was very sad that we had to go. I guess our time was somewhat limited. Then he went back into this white school, and it kinda just flew into the sky, and we were returned back to our homes. Back then I didn't know. I was astral projecting, I thought it was just a dream, so I paid no mind to it. A couple of weeks went by, and I had another experience. This time, I was in heaven. Shall we call it heaven? I don't know. I couldn't really see much. I couldn't move either. I was sort of an observer, a silent observer, because I wasn't allowed to interact with anything. So I was watching Luci picking a new angel for his mum. I know how crazy that sounds, because why would Luci pick another angel, a guardian angel, for his mum? That doesn't make any sense. And there was a line of angels which were all wearing white robes, and they had their back turned to me, so I couldn't see anything from the front, and he was making a choice. I witnessed the whole scene just for a couple of seconds until he picked someone. Again, I didn't think anything of it back then. And then I had another experience in another couple of weeks. I found myself in a very luxurious apartment. I don't know where. I just kind of looked around and I could see skyscrapers. And then Luci shows up and he takes my hand and says, "Let me show you the world." And then we started flying, like he took my hand and we started flying. And I realized that we were in New York. And then we were flying around and we went visiting, I guess, so many places on Earth. I've seen water, beaches, a lot of beautiful landscapes. We were just like flying above all these beautiful, breathtaking scenery, and we didn't have a care in the world. He looked so happy. I think at that point he was finally at peace. I think he obviously wanted to spend more time with us. As I said in my first video, me and Luci didn't interact at all whilst he was alive. So I'm not sure why he chose to interact with me in the afterlife. Again, that's still a mystery to me, I suppose. And I knew for sure anyway that he liked being at school, not so much for studying, but being with his classmates. So I guess he wanted to see us all for the last time and then conduct whatever unfinished business he had. And I guess the last experience for me was more of a thank you, like, thank you, let me show you the world. And that was it. That was the last time I had an experience or dream with him. I really feel like he's either at peace or he already came back to Earth. In that time, it's already been about 14 years since he died. So, who knows? Who knows what's on the other side? I can only tell you my stories and my experiences, and I really believe the afterlife is a beautiful place. I do believe there's life after death, if you want to call it life. I really do believe there's life after death. And I do believe that sometimes we are coming back whenever we feel like it, because we still have a lot of lessons that we need to learn before we can grow and raise our vibration and, I don't know, do whatever needs to be done. The thing is, no one knows for sure, and no one can 100% prove that any of these are real, that they exist, and we can only hope. I really hope you enjoyed this story. If you did, please note that I do a storytime episode kinda every week. So check out my channel, and there's a playlist with all these storytime episodes. But that's all I have for you tonight. Until next time, bye bye.